gonna be honest, I don't know what this is a picture of. It's just the fence. But this is part of it. This is all part of the beautiful process of understanding. We got a killer vantage point from here, looking right out over the Brayton Point power plant. Wind has come on pretty strong, but that was to be expected. You get this nice swooping clouds. Just looks killer. Now I gotta act fast on this, but not too fast. I don't want to make a mistake, foul up my shot, but it's a really beautiful sunset. We've got some greens, a lot of vegetation in front, this concrete structure, I think a mattress, but the beautiful waves coming through, colors are stunning. F-32 at 1 second. Blue tones of night starting to creep in, kind of like the tide is right here. I'm really struck by the kind of complex beauty of this whole scene. Back in the distance, you've got the town of Fall River lit up. We're on a beach, and then just off in the distance is the coal-burning power plant, powered down for the night. There's no lights on, but there's power lines, some street lights, that big giant dome where materials were cooked down and sold off. And there used to be two big, giant, booming smokestacks that pierced the sky, but now they don't. They're gone. And it just goes to show that even in these environments, both man and nature can exist together. It'll be a little rough around the edges. This beach has probably seen better days, but it's nice. I enjoy it. It kind of feels like Joel Meyerowitz Cape Light out here. this street light is too much in our face. It's gonna ruin the shot, but I'm gonna take it anyways because you got these two bright orange street lights. They almost are kind of like the green light at the end of Daisy's dock. All right. Well, as you guys can see, I'm standing in the estuary as the tide starts to go out to the ocean. We're in the shadow of the power plant, and really specifically the dome, which stored this byproduct of coal known as, and I'm going to butcher it, pozzolana. I might be wrong in the pronunciation. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a byproduct of coal, and then they would store it in that dome. Trucks would come in, they'd load it up, and they'd sell it to make some extra money. But it gives us a pretty interesting composition to photograph. This beautiful light, this estuary here that is just rich with aquatic life. Quahogs, shells, fish, seaweed, microorganisms, all sorts of things. And it smells relatively good. So I don't fear pollution or anything like that. Now, what location isn't strife with controversy from time to time? And this place was embroiled in controversy at one point. Now, I came here 1 week ago under the notion that this was a Superfund site. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, which is an entity of the government that monitors environmental catastrophes. They manage them. They clean them up. They had said that this power plant was a Superfund site. There's hundreds of pictures, hundreds of pages of information about what needs to be cleaned up, what will be cleaned up by the EPA, but was never actually done. I wouldn't have known that because every piece of information on Google tells you that this was a Superfund site. It wasn't until the last couple of days when I started talking to the people who live off this back road over here, getting to talk to the plant manager of 30 years of the actual power plant who corrected me. She said that this was never a Superfund site. It's a sore subject for her. And it just goes to show that the more you get to talk to people that live in this area, that work in the areas, you get better acquainted with the environment, the more you know the full story, the big picture. And I think it just makes for better photos. Call me crazy. Look at this. Oh, pretty gross. Now the sun is going to go behind the building in just a second. Maybe a little longer than a second. But it's going to go behind the building and it's going to light up some of the vacant parts of the building. So I'm going to grab a shot of that and then turn back around to this. Well, it's 6:30 now. Sun has officially set, but not quite to the horizon line just yet. Just a couple more minutes, but you can see how dramatic the changes in colors are, but also where I'm standing, which I think I mentioned before. But what I love most is that the dome is off in the distance. You get the street light, but the way that the channel has changed as the tide has gone out, there's peaks and valleys. The topography has changed, and it changes the composition ever so slightly. The way that the things are going to reflect in the water. There's a bunch of razorback clams shooting water up left and right, and it's going to change the complexity of the image. I like that. Leave it up to chance. Total chance. See what happens. Maybe it's crap, maybe it's not, but we'll find out. But I'll tell you what is crap, I think. What's on my feet. I've sunk it in quite a bit a few times. It's pretty stinky. Man, it's gorgeous. This is what we came out for. These colors. Everywhere you look, there is different shades of colors. That's one of my favorite things about shooting color film. People say you gotta shoot black and white. It's contemporary. Everything is compared against black and white. I say no. I say no to that. And I referenced Joel Meyerowitz yet again, even though I did last week. When he went out and shot in his early work in New York City, he was shooting black and white, and then he transitioned to color because it told a more true and accurate depiction, a truer story of what he was seeing. And I love that because it really is. And for those who suffer through color blindness, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be insensitive here, but seeing the world through color is a more accurate representation of what we as humans see. And as you go and look around, I mean, do a 360 panoramic, you got deep blues over there, you've got vibrant pinks and oranges here, this weird blend of them, and pinks all in the sky over here. You see the transition of colors just in the sky, but how it works on the lower levels, how it works with the highlights and the shadows and the midtones, and how it's changing the colors of green, how it's changing the sand in front of me, how it's changing the water, how it's changing some of the trees separately from the way that it's changing the grass. It's magic. Those tones of grays tend to kind of get lost when you shoot black and white. It's hard to tell the difference between those weird pinks in the middle and these bright, vibrant greens in the foreground and those kind of darker shades of magenta in the back. The gradation and the tonal changes are hard to see in black and white. But with color, it's like magic. Man. Okay. I was just about to head on out, try to find some other locations. I just turn around and I see it in a slightly different way. And, well, now it needs to be photographed. We're gonna go heavy with the shadows at about 4 seconds on this one. And that'll be my my last shot of the dome. Last shot to the dome, as the kids say. Let's take it. Voila. That's how it's done. That's how it's done.